It was an incident that gained national and global attention when 2 persons died after men in uniform opened fire during a protest at Ejura. Other victims suffered life-altering injuries and permanent disabilities. The government set up a committee to probe the incident. Findings were made and recommendations too. A year on, we are back to Ejura to give you a recap of the incident, speak to persons who matter, and even find out how these recommendations have been implemented. Join me on this trip. The death of activist Ibrahim Mohammed, popularly called Kaka, sparked disturbances at Ejura in June 2021. A 3-member committee chaired by a justice of the Court of Appeal, Mr. George Kingsley Kumsin, was set up to investigate the incident. Key persons appeared before the committee to testify. The committee recommended the payment of compensation to relatives of the deceased and the injured. Although the deceased relatives have been compensated, the injured victims are yet to receive the package a year on. 16-year-old Awal Misbao had one of his legs amputated after he was hit by a bullet during the disturbances in Ejura. Other victims, 20-year-old Louis Aikpa and 30-year-old Nazif Nu, also suffered life-altering injuries. Their parents say the conditions of the victims have drained them financially, and a promise of compensation payment is yet to be fulfilled by the government.
Cikin jin ciwon Awal ba wanda ya zo gidan ga, har yau gashi an kai shekara daya. Aka zo aka ba wayanda suka mutu. Aka ce wo an bashi, to gashi hawa yau an kai shekara ba wanda ya zo ya ce wani abu. Gashi yau Awal na zaune bai aikin komi wo, bai fari bai baki, kuma ya ci ya sha ya sa sutura, kuma ya yi rashin lafiya an kai shi hospital. Kafan manya yana damun shi fa, yana mai ciwo, har yanzu ciwon bai bari ba, ana siyan magani. Ka gani ko ya kamata gwamnati ya kula, ya yi ma Awal wani abu. Awal kuma ya san kamar an cuce shi amma da sauki, amma har yanzu gwamnati bai ce komi ba, ba mu san ko menene yake jira ba.
Befa mu so ne asra ban no sai ja wontwa nani no womra mehwe obesi nsuo toso fomodin ye ko ya ye baaye o maye bibiri ensuso bono o mo che ye se o mo beba no ye bre obesi na adwuma ye nyina na nam sa ade we su nti no me baaye me ne me nyina ye basa ensuso o mo se o mo ye o ye ntwa ye hwe o mo ni ye hwe o mo ni beto sese ye ntehwe ti ye sere o mo afini ye pa o mo chew o mo bia o mo mra o mo ntwa o mo ni mehwe ye so ye kakra na ye so ye bre afesu so nkura na nkasa kura no o mo hia moa.
The committee also recommended the immediate transfer of the Ejura District Police Commander at the time, and that has been done. Municipal Chief Executive for Ejura Sechidumase, Dr. Kingsley Osei, spoke about some of the recommendations implemented so far.
When a committee was set up to investigate what actually happened, there were some recommendations that were made. One of these is to establish a recreational grounds that will get the young men, the youth, engaged in different sporting activities, and they can make a trade out of those. And we have put in an application to that effect, and we are praying that an astroturf will be constructed here for us. A place, a location has already been identified, and so we are praying that our request will be fulfilled. There was further recommendation that Because of the heterogeneous nature of the population and the very viral market economy we have over here, people come in and out all the time, and that is a recipe for trouble. So our security apparatus be beefed up with the establishment of a military base. The Traditional Council, in conjunction with the Assembly, have taken the necessary steps, and I'm happy to announce to you that a week today, last week, Tuesday, like this, the General Officer commanding the Central Command came with his team to inspect where they will establish the base.
The committee also tasked the National Commission for Civic Education (NCCE) to intensify public education of the indigenes of Ejura on their rights and responsibilities. Ejura Municipal Director for the NCCE spoke about what his office has done so far.
After the recommendation, my outfit rolled out a number of activities in the municipality. The first of its kind was to engage the youth. So we first had a youth activist workshop on violence extremism. Then after that sensitization program, we rolled out another program and had a town hall meeting on violent extremism. So after the town hall meeting, we were firmly on the ground. We engaged identifiable groups in the municipality on national cohesion and peaceful coexistence. The aim of this sensitization was to engender peace in the municipality.
The Traditional Council in the area is also putting up a divisional police command to fulfill one of the recommendations made by the committee.
And after the committee's investigation and all that kind of to find out what brought about those misunderstandings, the committee also recommended that the police in this area is quite not enough. So there should be some kind of bringing more policemen to help those who are already in the area. So that means we need to expand the police infrastructure, and it all comes with cost. But Nananom decided to come on board. The little that they receive from the lands and other tokens, they should gather all of the money and then start pushing to make sure we be able to put up something meaningful to support the government to be able to upgrade the police status in the traditional area.
The family of one of the deceased says government must ensure the officers behind the shooting are punished.
Justice. What we want is justice. I've already said it. You know, we are in a country whereby we have our constitution. And everybody in this country as a citizen has to be a law-abiding citizen. And we believe that this thing that happened to us has ever happened somewhere else. Being that the leaders of this country did not do something to protect or to defend that thing, that's why it still keep on going. I think as a media man, you heard what went on in Nkuranza. We don't want to remember them because what happened in Ejura hadn't been there was a justice for those people, and there was a, what will I say? They put up something like a sanction or punish to those who did that. This thing should have been not happen again. This thing shouldn't have happened again.
The family of the late Kaka is also not happy about what it says is the slow pace of investigations.
So upon which basis is the case trending? We as a family knows we are not going to get any justice. and we know that justice will be denied since proper investigations are not done.
Are you not preempting?
I'm not preempting, but that is directly the feeling of the family based on what they have seen and based on the reaction of the police towards the issue, and how the Attorney General is also not taking the case as so serious as such. We were at Asuka Court. Within the year, I was there at the court all the time we meet. There are series of murder cases of different significance compared to ours. The case are tried at the higher court. Why is it ours is still pending?
The Ejura incident remains fresh on the minds of inhabitants in this enclave, and they are saying never again should this incident happen. Some of the residents have been talking to us.
I will tell my colleagues that we should always pray for them, and we always pray that that incident will not happen again.
Yeah, I'm happy about the peaceful situation in Ejura here since the incident, because if such incidents happens again, it will create fear and panic among the residents in Ejura here, and we pray that such incident never happen in Ejura again.
The Member of Parliament for Ejura Sechidumase, Bawa Brema Sulemana, bemoaned the non-implementation of portions of the report. The community remains peaceful, with inhabitants going about their duties.
The day Kaka was buried, that is, I'm referring to Abdul Nasser and the Mutala, who lost their life as a result of the reckless handling of the demonstration that took place after the burial of Kaka. We also saw how the recklessness and how the military went in and how they shot into the crowd, and then we lost these two gentlemen, Abdul Nasser and then Mutala. We also like to commiserate with the victims, those who got injured. As at now, we have one boy, Mohammed Awal, who had his limb amputated, and then one other, Louis Ayikwa, who also sustained a gunshot injury in his stomach. Thankfully, he has been treated and discharged. If you ask me about my perspective or what I feel 1 year after, I feel a bit disappointed, because reason being that, in fact, any crime that goes unpunished emboldens the perpetrators to do more.
Authorities say they will continue to ensure inhabitants in Ejura live peacefully, but a concern for family members of the injured victims during the disturbances is that government is yet to fulfill its promise to pay compensation to them. They want the government to step in and help. Hafiz Tijani, City News, Ejura, Ashanti Region.